Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Darrell Brooks saga. I'm Jester, and today today's episode is gonna be fun. It's gonna be about his arrest. Like last episode we saw when they were taking him away, and now we're gonna see how they actually gonna arrest him. So, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share it with a friend. Give it a like. It all helps the algorithm for me to be able to get to more people and share more of these videos with you guys. So consider doing it. All right, let's get into the video.
Thank you, everyone. Be seated.
He doesn't stand up. I don't like that.
All right, we are back on the record in State versus Brooks. Appearances are as they were before. The state should be prepared to call the next witness. Okay, very good. Then bring the jury out, please.
You ain't called that name that you started with. I don't know if the audio's on.
It's on.
Audio's on, and I called the case. I actually didn't specifically refer to you, but I did say State versus Brooks. But in any event, your objection is noted for the record.
He keeps admitting that he was him. All the time. Why?
And we'll continue with testimony.
Will you be addressing subject matter jurisdiction?
She already addressed that. We already went through this.
Is that a judicial determination not to answer, Your Honor?
I like that she ignores
So
it.
is that a tacit agreement?
All right.
Subject matter jurisdiction has yet to be proven for the record.
Were you working on duty as a law enforcement officer on November 21st of 2021?
Objection.
Yes, sir, I was.
Leading.
Overruled.
Did you at some point become aware that there was a parade in downtown Waukesha?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Oh, is that a
You
legal?
may
Yes.
answer.
I went to the parade route and I talked to a few people around injured people and determined that I wasn't really able to be of help there because they were all back injuries and I can't, in a squad, I can't help with that.
So what did you do next?
I answered a call on the radio that said there was a man going door to door on Elizabeth Street asking to use people's phones to call an Uber.
Where did you go from there?
I got out and partnered up with two other officers, and we decided that we would walk the street and look for this person.
Were you wearing a body-worn camera at the time?
Yes, sir, I was.
Was that device also equipped with a microphone?
Objection
Yes.
leading.
Overruled.
Yes, sir.
Do you know whether your device was activated as you were walking down Elizabeth Street that afternoon?
Objection.
It was.
Overruled.
All right, we played 6 seconds. Do you
He's so
recognize that
defeated
video?
because
I do.
he knows
What
what's
is it?
coming.
It is my body camera video of walking down Elizabeth Street.
From November 21st?
Objection
sir.
leading.
I will overrule it, and the answer may stand.
Does this video and the associated audio accurately reflect what happened that night as you saw it?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yes, sir.
I'd move Exhibit 80 into evidence and ask to publish.
Objection.
All right, here we go.
What did
Let's
we
see.
see?
Let's see.
Big Ben. Any unit that is on Elizabeth Street currently advised. Robert 277.
Oh, there it is.
What's up? Hands up! Put your hands where I can see them. Put your hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Do it now!
There it was. He's slowly.
Hey,
Now he's on the ground. And yet, he's just laying there.
Describe where in the video you first saw that person.
Objection leading.
Overruled.
No shoes.
You may answer.
I first saw him standing on the porch.
And what, if anything, did you see that person doing when you first saw him?
Objection leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
He appeared to be rather agitated.
Why do you say that?
Objection leading.
Overruled. It's not leading. You may answer.
He was moving back and forth on the porch and gesturing.
Do you recall what you were wearing that evening?
I do.
What?
The exact same set of clothing that I'm wearing today.
Including long sleeves?
Yes.
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Did this person, depicted at 53 seconds, draw your attention in any way based on what he was wearing?
Yes. It was chilly out, lower 40s, upper 30s, and he was in a t-shirt, jogging pants, and no shoes.
So he didn't have shoes, but he had socks on. So he was wearing socks with flip flops.
You got something with your name on it, man? No. Okay, lads. Cooperate with us. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there's the sandwich.
What did we see in that portion of the video?
That was a sandwich.
Where did that sandwich come from?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
His right pants pocket.
The subject on the ground is?
Yes, sir.
Robert 277.
Did you at some point ask the subject depicted in the video at 114 to identify himself by name?
Go ahead.
I did.
What was that person's response?
He identified himself as Darrell Brooks.
Oh,
Do
there
you see
he is.
Mr. Brooks in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you point him out for us by telling us where he's sitting and what he's wearing?
He is seated at the defense table wearing a dark-colored suit and striped tie and a mask over his face.
Just
Come
to
on,
be-
Brooks. Tell her you don't consent to being called that name. Tell her you don't know anyone by that name. Come on. What are you waiting for?
Darrell, Your Honor, could we please have Mr. Brooks remove his mask momentarily?
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Go ahead.
Now that Mr. Brooks has removed his mask, does that change anything about your testimony today?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
You're-
Leading.
You may go ahead and answer.
That's Darrell Brooks.
There was multiple units. David 216 units at 10.
What is your name?
Brooks.
First name?
I'm waiting for a vehicle.
Darrell Brooks. There he is. Now what you gonna do,
Sitting
my guy?
on the witness stand today, do you acknowledge that Mr. Brooks has a short haircut?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name. He's leading.
Sustained as to the form of the question, please.
How would you describe Mr. Brooks's haircut today?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
You said that was your name, my guy.
Sir, I understand your objection. Please do not interrupt with that further so that the questioning of the witnesses may continue. You may answer.
If you say that name, I'm objecting.
And the jury will disregard the objection if it's solely for the name purposes.
Good.
Go ahead.
Mr. Brooks has his hair cut close today.
What about when he took his face mask down? Did you notice his facial hair?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled.
He does have facial hair.
Did you notice anything different about his facial hair today versus in the video?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
That is also trimmed closer.
Does the hairstyle and the facial hairstyle here in court today give you any pause or concern over whether or not it's Mr. Brooks in the video?
Objection.
Go ahead and answer, please.
No, not at all.
Let's resume playing at 123.
Objection noted for the record.
I just used somebody's phone to call for a lift, that's all.
Oh, okay.
That's what I need. Yeah, one male 1026 to blackmail red short sleeve shirt.
I'll tell you what. If everything turns out to be on the up and up, life will be good and you'll be on your way, all right?
Yeah, that's fair. If it's not him,
Oh, no.
we'll let it go.
Ask him. Ask him if he knows. He was on the porch here.
Yeah, I was using his phone.
What's your location?
I was using his phone.
You're holding this W to make sure I'm holding her down.
I called my
Any squads available for a transport?
mother to give me a lift. That's all. I was just using his phone.
Darrell, this is Schwartz. I'm leaving WSC. Where do you need me?
What do you,
Can I just sit up? I was freezing. Can I please just sit up?
Do you have any weapons on
No,
you?
sir.
what's your name, guy?
9209.
I just told her my name.
What did you tell
Yes, sir.
What's your first name?
Darrell Brooks.
Yes, sir.
Additional victims. We start on the next block.
Copy. No additional
This
victims.
From
matches
his
the
mouth.
description of the guy that got called on who was going door to door over here.
Yeah, I was
Where
trying.
are your shoes, man?
I was trying to use somebody's phone.
Where are
Where are
your
your
shoes?
shoes?
My flip flops is in his house.
Did you hear the last thing said by the suspect on the ground at this point?
Objection
Yes.
leading.
Overruled.
What did he say?
Objection leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
He said, my flip-flops is in his house.
Do you know if any flip-flops or any other shoes of any kind were ever retrieved from the residence that this was taking place in front of?
Objection speculative.
Overruled. You may answer.
I did go in the house and speak to the resident there and asked if he had left shoes or outer garments or anything like that, and he said that he had not.
He was saying he just gave me a jacket.
He's identifying soft fat, lighter skin, black male, dreadlocks, red shirt, blue jeans, no shoes.
Yeah, I did go to that house. I went to that house right there, right down the street, right here.
Where you coming from, man?
I was coming from that parade down here.
Okay.
I know a
Wasn't
friend
the
down
parade?
there.
In my
Do you-
squad.
I think that's a fabulous idea.
Stand up for me, Darrell.
I can't, Mr. Brooks.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Roll over on your butt.
Okay, now you.
Roll over on your butt. Roll up on your knees. Roll over on. Roll up on your knees.
Okay.
500 block of Elizabeth.
Stand up.
Right now. 553 Elizabeth.
What are you doing?
Freaking sweet.
Factory here.
Did I do something?
Did I do
That is
something?
yet to be
Front
determined,
of
sir.
my squad, man.
Okay.
Is there anything on you that's gonna stick me, poke me, hurt
No,
me?
no, not at all, sir.
Did I do
Not at all. I don't
something?
have any weapons,
Glad to hear it.
nothing like that.
How did you get up over here, man?
I was coming to see a friend.
Yeah?
Nice.
Where's your friend?
I don't know now.
Marcus.
Spin your back your hand for me.
I had, yeah, I went,
You injured at all, dude?
yeah.
What hurts?
When they slammed me, my knee, I already have an injury.
Spread your feet for me.
His knee.
Okay, yes. That's my ID.
It certainly is.
Yes. I'm so cold.
I bet you are.
His
The
knee,
officer
he said.
whose squad he was going to be placed in went through his pockets to make sure he did not have anything that would be dangerous.
Okay. And do you know if anything was retrieved from his pockets?
Yes.
Objection.
Overruled. Her answer may stand.
There were no weapons, were there?
Objection
weapons.
leading.
Overruled. Her answer may stand.
The question benefits
What,
you.
if anything, do you recall being recovered from his pockets?
ID, some cards, I believe there was a credit card in there, and a car key.
Go ahead and take a seat for me, Darrell. You said what hurt?
Those are my hands, and in my hands are the property that was taken from Mr. Brooks. You can see the officer's back at the open door of the squad, and Mr. Brooks' leg in the light there. where he's sitting in the squad.
Your Honor, I would move Exhibit 176 into evidence and request permission to publish.
Objection, relevancy.
Do you know what happened to the objects that are in your hands in that exhibit?
Yes, I gave them to the officer whose car Mr. Brooks was sitting in.
At one point you stated
There we go. Come on. Let's see what you got.
the suspect was wearing jogging pants.
That's the thing that you're gonna focus on?
That'd be fair to say?
The pants?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Were the jogging pants or blue jeans?
They were soft pants.
We show Exhibit 80 again.
Show the video when I say my name again. Oh, he did it with no audio. Smart.
Can you pause? Can you zoom in a little bit? And play a few more seconds.
Okay.
Pause. You would describe those pants as jogging pants or soft pants, as you say?
Sure.
Yes.
That's her opinion.
And you made reference to finding
Okay, so what was the point of all that? What was the point of pointing out the pants? Do you have anything about it? So you or you were just asking about it?
sandwich, credit cards, and things of that nature in the pants, correct?
You found a sandwich.
I found the sandwich while you were laying on the ground.
Yeah.
And you also stated that you found a credit card
You never said that.
and things of that nature. In fact, would it be fair to say that that's what was in your hand on Exhibit 176?
There were what appeared to be credit cards and ID and a car key.
And they were in your hand, correct?
They were.
So would it be fair to say you also found those and not just a sandwich?
No.
I did not pull that stuff out of your pocket, sir. That was a different officer. I did hold it while he finished searching you, sir.
Did you find anything else?
On your person, I was not the person searching you. Aside from the sandwich while you were on the ground.
So as far as your search, you just found a sandwich.
Correct.
That's what she said.
And at the time, do you recall why the suspect was being detained?
Yes,
And what was the reason?
because you matched a description that was broadcast over the police radio of a suspect involved in the parade incident.
Right?
Do you recall writing that the suspect was being detained for investigative purposes?
Yes,
Any reason why you wouldn't state what those purposes were in the report?
because at the time we had contact with you, I was not fully aware of the circumstances.
Well, would it be fair to say that you just stated why the suspect was being detained?
What?
Did I just stated why this? I'm sorry. What was the
Yeah,
question?
we are
exactly, sir?
confused, Brooks.
Would it be fair to say that you just stated when asked
Asked.
why was the suspect being detained at that moment?
At that
answered-
moment.
Yeah,
Yes.
at that moment that you detained the suspect. You stated because they matched the description of someone involved in the parade.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
But then you stated that at the time you weren't fully aware.
She only knew that she had to pick up a guy with a red shirt. She didn't know why. She just needed to find someone like that and bring it in.
I knew that people had been hurt. I knew that shots had been fired. I did not know how many people were hurt. I did not know by what mechanism people would be hurt. I did not know the magnitude of the injuries. I just knew that something violent had happened.
So it'd be fair to say you weren't in the known of a lot of information at that point.
Right.
That's true.
Grounds.
Overruled. Her answer may stand.
Would it be fair to say that you were being heard in Exhibit 80, stating that if everything was on the up and up, you would be on your way?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, that's correct. That was me.
So would it be fair to say that was an inaccurate statement if the suspect fit the description of something that happened in the parade?
No.
Not at all.
And what do you mean by not at all?
That's a pretty...
I mean, sometimes people look like someone who did something and turn out not to be that person. But that was not the case here.
Hey, nice at that.
So as far as you knew at the time, it could have been mistaken identity.
Could have been.
It could have been, but it was not.
But
Well, at the
anyway,
time, it'd be fair to say at the time you didn't know.
At the time, I did not know.
Right. You didn't.
Did you give the suspect any information on why they were being detained?
While you were being put in the car, you were informed you were being detained for investigative purposes, which is an answer that's appropriate for the circumstances.
So it would be fair to say that that's not really all that informative.
All right. So what did he want? Like I've been hearing all these questions, and I cannot figure out what are the point of all these questions. What was the point of asking about the pants? What was the point of asking about anything at all? Like, you're not helping your case. You're just asking nonsense questions that she's answering with the truth that is on video. And now the most important thing on your mind is that they didn't tell you what you were being arrested for. They didn't tell you, oh, we are stopping you because of the parade attack. That's what you want to hear? They didn't know yet. I don't get it.
I did not have a lot of information to give you, sir.
Right.
Keep saying you. Who are you referring to?
Darrell Brooks, the
You,
one
Mr.
that
Brooks.
you
Darrell
identified
Brooks.
to me.
Seated at the defense table.
Any reason why you wouldn't tell a suspect why they're being detained?
He didn't know, my guy.
Essentially being that if you take someone into custody, they should know why they're being taken into custody. Why would a suspect be detained without any information to your
Told
knowledge?
Objection.
Grounds.
Asked and answered.
Also calls for speculation vague.
So would it be fair to say that you can detain a suspect without them knowing why they're being detained?
That's not what she said.
Objection. This
Grounds.
goes for a legal analysis, not factually relevant.
No.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Do you recall when you got the report of shots fired?
I believe that was one of the first things I heard over the radio before I was even there.
Do you recall ever finding out where the shots fired came from?
Eventually I did.
Do you recall in your reading report writing that when you had arrived at Elizabeth and West and parked your squad and began to walk down the street, that you had your firearm in your hand?
Yeah, we just
Yes.
saw it in the video.
And was that because of the call of shots fired, or did you feel unsafe at the time?
That's because there were shots fired and I did not know by whom.
Do you recall the area of where the shots fired? Was that the general area?
The general area, somewhere in the vicinity of the parade.
Is Elizabeth and West in the general area?
Yeah.
It's a few blocks away.
Do you have any reason to believe that the shots came from the suspect?
I did not know who had done shooting. I had heard a report of shots fired. I did not know by whom, as I've said, sir.
Any reason to believe that the shots came from the suspect is what I'm asking.
You don't know, so it's
I
better
did
to be
not know.
safe.
And you also stated that in your written report that it was in the upper 30s that evening with the brisk wind. Would that be fair to say?
It was
Pretty
upper
cold.
30s, lower 40s, somewhere right in there. It was cold. I was cold.
Do you think that maybe the gesturing was because the suspect was cold? Grounds.
Calls for speculation.
Overruled. She may answer if she's able.
I didn't know.
And do you recall checking the pockets of the coat worn by the suspect?
Yes.
Do you recall how the suspect obtained the coat?
I recall what I was told.
So it'd be fair to say you weren't sure if you were only told this information.
What?
That'd be fair to say?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
You made reference to saying you only know what you were told. So it'd be fair to say at that time you didn't know unless you were told.
Didn't know what?
How the suspect obtained the coat.
I asked the resident of the house you were at. Actually, I believe he volunteered to me that he had given you a coat to wear.
And you checked the pockets of the coat?
You already asked that.
Yes,
And did you find anything?
You already asked.
I did not find anything.
At what point did you learn that the suspect who was being detained would be arrested?
At some point later,
Did you write your report that evening?
I believe I wrote it the next morning.
So it would be fair to say after you had learned a little bit more information, then you wrote the report?
That would be true, yes.
And do you recall initially responding to Clinton Street and Broadway first?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall why you responded to that location first?
To see if I could help anyone.
Good.
About how long did you stay there before responding to Elizabeth?
Just a few minutes.
No further questions.
All right, thank you. Any redirect?
Referring specifically to the time that you placed the handcuffs on Mr. Brooks, remember that time frame?
Yes, sir.
I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled. You may answer.
Thank you. Yes, I do.
Do you recall how Mr. Brooks ended up on the ground as that was happening?
I do.
Could you tell us about that?
Objection. Saw in video.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
We instructed him to put his hands up and then to get down on the ground.
Did he comply with those instructions?
He did.
Did you or any other officer have to put hands on Mr. Brooks to get him on the ground?
Objection. Speculative.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
No, sir, we did not.
After he was on the ground, that's when the handcuffs went on?
Objection.
correct.
Leading.
Overruled. She may answer.
Your answer again was,
That's correct.
at any point after the handcuffs went on, did you or any other officer throw Mr. Brooks to the ground?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
We did not.
How did you treat Mr. Brooks as you moved him from his prone position on the ground to the squad car?
Objection.
Overruled. She may
Relevancy.
answer.
As the video shows, he was instructed, let's call it the path of least resistance, to get up off of a prone position, eventually to his feet, with a minimum of discomfort.
Sir, I want to direct your attention to the date of November.
All right, so we're gonna come back to this to the next witness on the next episode. But I just want to say, what was that questioning? What did he prove? What he did disprove? It was all on video. You said your name. You were found with all those things. He didn't have he didn't even have a wallet. I think they just found random cards on his pocket. What was the point of all that? He just ran on and on about stuff that doesn't have to do with anything. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what do you think he was trying to convey with all this question? Was he trying to discredit the police officer? Was he trying to tell the jury, no, look, they slammed me down, or something like that? I don't know. Tell me in the comments what do you think about this. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.